Welcome back to Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz. And during this segment, we have a special treat for you. We're going to be talking about what happens at Holy Cross High School, and specifically an organization known as Cougars for Christ. Let me begin by introducing our guests. First of all, Sarah Cleary, thank you so much for being here. Sarah, I know, I looked at your title, you're service coordinator, but I know how much work you've done with Cougars for Christ and so many other things. And Jenna Bailey, who is an alumna, and we'll be talking about the special role you had with beginning Cougars for Christ when we get into this segment. So welcome to both of you, and thank you for being here. Sarah, let's begin by just give us a little bit of a background, and before you tell us what is Cougars for Christ, a little background about how long you've been at the school. And
Sure. I actually started at Holy Cross 6 years ago as the sophomore and senior theology teacher.
Good.
With that job description came being in charge of the masses for the school. And I was given the job to try and get students involved in planning and setting up those masses. And I had no idea how I was going to do that. I knew it started with a cool name, and so I had to come up with a cool name. And Cougars for Christ just popped out, and off it went. So the first year we actually had 30 students that signed up, got involved. We had a lot of incentives to try and get students involved with the group. And then it became a nomination process. And so
nominations
after that,
from students?
From students and from teachers and staff. And so those students needed to be nominated from that point on. Now it's a leadership role in the school.
Wow. Well, I have to admit, I remember the first time I came for a Mass, and the Cougars were involved, Cougars for Christ were involved in coordinating that. And I remember how quickly and quietly, when the Mass ended, everybody moved things back. I thought, wow, this is really organized. But tell us a little bit, what do the students involved in Cougars for Christ do?
Well, it started out just they were in charge of the Mass, planning the Mass, setting it up, tearing it down. But it was such a great group of students, we decided we needed to add some more to that. So now they do service projects. They help with Archdiocese events. They've shown up and hosted.
I recall that
things.
with hosting. I recall that too. And so how many in a given year? I know there's now a growing number who claim to be Cougars for Christ, including people who graduated 4 years ago. But how many in a given year would be Cougars?
About 13 to 15.
And some in each, there'd be seniors and juniors.
They're all seniors.
Oh, they're all seniors.
It's
okay.
a privileged senior group.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Okay, very good. Very good. Well, that's wonderful. Is it too early to begin to say what you hope would be the things that someone involved would learn and experience? What benefit is it, do you see, for them?
The hope is, first and foremost, a deeper faith, that they grow in their faith. Beyond that, desire to serve the community, serve those less in need, and then also to lead their peers, lead the student body.
To be witnesses, really. The difference between peer pressure and peer influence, to be a positive influence. You know, that's what I saw when I was coming. I thought, wow, this is a gold mine, isn't it? Huh?
It is.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful. And you know, we have Jenna here.
Yes.
Jenna, thank you for being here.
Thank
I know
you.
You told me that you're a senior at Bellarmine, and you have that graduation look about you now, even though it's February.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved and what your background was.
Yeah, so I graduated from Holy Cross 4 years ago in 2012, and the group had started the year before I was a senior, and it wasn't a nomination process yet, and there was really no leadership roles built into the group. So my year, they decided to put leadership roles in place so that it would be more organized, and so that that leadership was coming really from the group rather than from an adult with a club, the way clubs are usually set up. So I was excited to get elected as the first president of Cougars
hey,
for
way to
Christ.
go, by the way. You'll always be the first president.
Yeah, there's a little plaque with my name on it. It's very cool.
Good. In the school itself, you mean?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, good.
So I was the first president, and I think we did a lot of things that year that had that first leadership group within it. I think we did a lot of things that year that really could be built on and get excited about, and hopefully it's influenced groups to come. So.
Wow. So even at this point, now you're looking back 4 years, but you also have a role in the school, don't you? Tell
Yes,
us.
I work in the recruitment department at Holy Cross now. So I visit the Archdiocesan grade schools and get to talk about the way that Holy Cross has shaped me and impacted me. I'm there because I love it. I love being there. I love being involved. And you know, with graduation coming up in May, it's really nice to get this time to really reflect on how I got where I got, and I know that it was because of Holy Cross and definitely because of Cougars for Christ. So, and it's nice to look at that and know that I had that gift and, you know, that real, you know, sent from God gift, you know, in my life.
Thanks for witnessing to that. You know, so often I'll go around and people really know our Catholic high schools and elementary schools too are really great academically and forming the person. Some wonder, well, gee, do we still have the mission of developing missionaries for Christ? Do we do the mission of having true followers of Jesus? And I have to admit, I think right away of Cougars for Christ and Holy Cross on the work that you're all doing, because it's so central to what you do. So as you look back, even Sarah, as you look back now and see what has happened, are you having difficulties getting people to consider?
It's funny because after the first couple years of nomination, we now have freshmen and sophomores that, I want to be a Cougar for Christ when I'm a senior. And so that means they're excited about the Mass, they're excited about the leadership, they're excited about leading their school, and that's fantastic.
I think at graduation last year, I recall that the junior group, now that you said it, it came to me, junior group came forward as the new representatives. It wasn't like, well, as soon as we start the next year, we'll get around to this. No, they were eager to get moving on it, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing.
Well, and I think too, you know, Catholic schooling lays out, it, you know, gives you that opportunity to grow in your faith and learn in your faith. But this group really teaches, as seniors, you're about to leave your Catholic schooling experience. It really teaches that it turns to you. You know, you are responsible for developing that faith, and you're responsible for, you know, living your life like Christ. The things that you've learned in grade school and in high school, it's up to you now, because you're going to graduate and ideally, you know, go to college and be in a lot of new world situations. So you have to take it upon yourself, and I think that's something that is a great lesson in Cougars for Christ, is that it's up to you.
Really, in the best way, it's leadership, and I see poise, and I see a desire. People say, well, when you become an adult, you no longer are being fed by others. You yourself have to do things. Did you see some effects of that in your days now at Bellarmine?
I definitely think so. I'm fortunate enough to go to Bellarmine, which is a Catholic university, so they do require 2 theology classes. And I took a class, a senior theology class on Thomas Merton. And just learning about some of his ideals, it was so interesting the way, you know, he would talk about social teaching, and I mean, that's what we learned. That's what we talked about. That's what we pushed for as a group. I remember around Christmas time my year, we had gone and we adopted a family, and we got to go into their home and give them gifts and really provide a Christmas that they wouldn't have had otherwise. And so it's memories like those that I know that really make me feel confident that I know it's, you know, social teaching is. I was in my classes really comfortable and ready to talk about those things, because I felt like I had such a good foundation from Cougars for Christ.
Well, I have to say, Sarah and Jenna, both of you, you're a treat to the audience, because you present yourself so well, and this is such a believable direction. So thank you. We just finished last month Catholic Schools Week, so it's been on our minds. So thank you. Thank you for being with us today. Now, I understand, before I can thank the listening audience, do we not have a special guest?
We do.
Who's come? Oh, here we go. I'm so happy that our Cougar has joined us for this final edition. Thank you for being here. Listen, everybody, please pray for all of our students in Catholic schools. Pray especially for those at Holy Cross and those who are Cougars for Christ. And please stay with us now as we return for the final episode of Conversations with Archbishop Kurtz.